Good evening. How are you? I hope you're okay, dear friends and colleagues. It's important to stress something before we begin. This delegation, we're not here to give you a presentation, so this is not a presentation. We are here to build movements. That's why we came. And we came because we are part of a path, which is a long path. In 1998, an indigenous colleague from the Uba people, a leader in his community, he acted as a spokesperson in a battle against Oxy, oil multinational. The Uba community didn't want them to drill in their territories, digging for oil. And at that point in time, in this negotiation, the Uba people raised itself and they said, we are going to commit a collective suicide, like they did back in time when the invaders would expel us from our land. So there are issues that have to do with image, etc., reputation, and the oil company withdrew from the project. And that was a very important moment in time, very important landmark in the history of the Afro-Indigenous Colombian resistance movement. So that's why we are here. We have Francia Marquez in our hearts. She was granted the Nobel Prize in 2018. Francia suffered an attack against her life 2 weeks ago. Evil forces tried to kill her and other leaders of the agricultural world in the area. They were gathering together in the Cagua department in Colombia for a meeting, and that is why we're here also, for her, for Francia. And we are here also representing the strength, the power of the advocates for human rights that lost their lives in Colombia. 60 people to date this year, 160 last year, 164 people died last year in Colombia trying to advocate for a new model of development in Colombia. Ever since the peace agreements were signed, it's 60 or more people that have lost their lives already this year. And these figures, they vary depending on where they get the information, but they're terrible. 20 years ago, we were sold an intercultural conflict. The neocons in the States start to talk about clash of civilizations, which is a blunt lie. The conflict, the clash, is between development models. One of them is clearly imposed onto the communities of our planet versus a different view about sustainability that we are trying to build in the Amazon, in Latin America, also in the European cities. And there are movements every day that talk about this, and it's very important to listen to them. Every year in the Colombian Amazon, we lose 140,000 forest hectares. Spiritual beings are lost, and carbon repositories, and we lose territory, and we lose forest, and we lose knowledge and wisdom. Every time deforestation is affected and stock breeding demands from the Amazon to create more and more industry, more and more meat, we lose knowledge. And those knowledges are key to respond to the challenges of the difficulties that we have created with pollution and contamination. And that's why with our union, UMIYAC, Union of Indigenous Yahe Medics of the Colombian Amazon, that's why we're here. Thank you very much. And with Nothing else from my part now. I'd like to hand over to Ernesto Evanjuanoy from the Inga people, also our colleague, friend, activist, leader, indigenous, Rubiela, Mojomboy, Jojoa, and the spiritual man, the man, Gemmington, Jojoa, Yocuro, and my dearest friend, colleague in our fight, Miguel Evanjuanoy.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon. We have come to share from our territories and to convey a message of partnership of all of us to save the planet, especially talking from the territories about the suffering we've had in our territory. It has hurt, but thanks to the medicine, all the diseases, we've been able to be healed through the holy plants. And thanks to this, we are here at this venue, calling out to the whole world, let's save, let's protect Mother Nature, which is the life of all living beings. If we don't save it, this planet is in risk of disappearing. The planet will not disappear, but the living beings will. Either human beings, plants, animals, any living organism will disappear from this planet. Hence, this constant struggle to show this love and respect we have for Mother Nature, but it has always been very tough to see that humankind has respects values of only hurting Mother Nature, but without seeing what consequences this brings for our culture for generations. Therefore, we, through the remedies, the holy plants, have this wish of raising the voice to the world so we heal from these diseases, to have the pure conscience of going back and taking this legacy bequeathed by the cultures of giving value to respect. Therefore, we are here to seek this alliance for our territories. I think we need it, and altogether we can be able to create it. And this will not occur from one day to the next, but if we see that the rulers all over the world will do away with everything that is out there, the wealth of Mother Nature. Therefore, the spirits of the plants, all spirits that are around, are suffering. There is disappearance. Different species have already disappeared. We therefore always claim to the universe, the divine spirit, that we can turn back what has got lost. But with this effort, we work day and night in saving our territory. We've suffered several sorts of violence in our territory. In Colombia, which has been recognized, of spots of bloodshed, of massacres in our territory, and our territory, the Amazonas, which is the lung of the world. Sometimes we wake up in places with red spots, blood of our brethren. Looking at the consequences, we are in this struggle to defend this cause with pain and disrespect humankind has experienced both towards the Mother Nature and the holy plants. The plants have also been manipulated. Therefore, the holy plants tell us that we need to respect the cultures and also the way of handling the holy plants as they have an order. We need to see with pure awareness what we are, what we think. The culture has its own way of thinking. We cannot come arbitrarily and inflict pain upon Mother Nature, upon the culture of spirituality. This we have felt, and this our grandparents have claimed. Therefore, we bring over the voices of our grandparents to share with you, so you can see what is occurring in our territories. The big challenge with the bad rulers we had. They don't think of one person of the family. This is my big desire to share from the bottom of my heart what I feel for my people and for the different cultures we live. However, as the organization has this legacy to work for 5 people, 5 nations, but we want to share it out to those who want to be aware, if they want to heal a bit these diseases, to act in respect, because it's beautiful to live life and to respect as far as we are able to. Here we have our colleagues who will convey their message. Thank you very much.
Chisiapuang inukanchipa atungkunapa alpa inukanchipa taitakuna yachakuna. Kay espíritu kaypika inuka autorización. Y también a continuación nosotros
we have also come to make known what is occurring in our territories from the invasion more than 500 years ago. We've been unraveled from the territories, indigenous tribes, and this is again occurring. We are on risk of extinction of the original indigenous nations of the whole Amazon. In South America, like in Colombia, where we are united, organized by the traditional physicians in the Amazon, so together we can unite in spirituality and save our ancestral millennial territories. This is why I've come over here to state that we won't bear injustice anymore of the governments, of the globalization patterns all over the world. This is to us another invasion that has come, and we are in resistance together with all brother and neighboring nations from Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Ecuador, who are here on behalf of Colombia. A Colombia which is so full of wealth, which is intercultural, full of water tables, seas, mountains, mines, oil, good people, and strong, resilient people But now we are getting weaker by these dark forces because the states, the governments, don't do their own development all over the places as those who are in Colombian Amazon. The national government has negotiated with other countries, selling the wealth, selling us as well, because we were born from the mother, from that womb. They want to take from our hands, they want to exterminate us, and we are resisting in our territories, resisting in different parts of Colombia, together with other indigenous groups who are farther away in the Amazon, like in Yocuro, Cauca, Putumayo, Caquetá, Botacaucana, and so injustices all over Colombia. It seems as if we had no people taking care of us. It seems as if we are the stone in their shoe, the pain in their neck, as a scientist said. He told us, when there is oil and mining, but the pain in the neck are the Indians. And this is painful. They think we still are animals, as they formerly treated us and our ancestors in the conquest. They took from us our own religion, our customs, everything. But we say one and again and over that they betrayed us with the hooks and the mirrors to take all our gold from us. But now they are coming, and again they are cheating us with the previous consultations, cheating us with anything, but we won't give in. We have opened our eyes, and we were out for what is our rights. So we have to defend our territory. We are going to defend our rights. We are going to defend the life of our nations, no matter what happens, because the social leaders, be they indigenous, not indigenous, or peasants, to us, everybody is the same in Colombia, our human rights. So our leaders, our families, we all protest on the roads. And what do the governments, the governors, the mayors, they send us the paramilitary, all the dark forces, but we are there. And no, they say it's the Indians who camouflaged and they are armed with the weapons of the FARC. Well, see how peace is, where they are negotiating. It was negotiated with President Santos. He negotiated and went out, and when it came out, he was Peace Nobel Prize. But now, this treaty is concluded with so many armed groups that are coming out in Colombia, and the state negotiated, and they did. And they did not do it out from their heart for struggle and pain. They negotiated it for capitalist interest, and they didn't fulfill it. And what occurs? They come back to our ancestral territories, and now they came back and harm again our Mother Nature, our planta liahe, the social economic part. We are living in danger. We cannot talk, no protest, but we are saying it. no matter what occurs, because we cannot shut up anymore. Therefore, indigenous nations in the Amazon need to stand up and make known to the world our case, to see what they can do for us and what we can do for you. But especially in the communities, they are reducing our territory because the states, the countries are run as they are. We're doing national parks, but it's just a show off, and they are reducing our territory. We don't know where to plant yahe, and the plants, no place to live. And now the corporations come, the projects with illegal mining, and we are in an extermination within a little time, and therefore we've come here, and thanks to those who told us, who have seen what is occurring, because the indigenous nations are the ones who are strong and resilient and with the healthy wisdom of the whole world. And this is the most important to be pointed out from the struggle, and therefore we have these hotbeds of resistance. We need human rights, and we hope and we make a claim to appeal to the national government and the whole governments of the world, also of the Church, of the Holy Father, all of them. We need to go and talk to them. Thank you very much.
En primer lugar, pedir permiso.
First of all, I would like to ask for permission for the space, all the ancestors and the spirits that are listening to me from our territories who will apologize me. I haven't had the opportunity of having an academic education, but I've had my own education. As we talk of the territories, it's very painful and there's a lot to explain. We don't have much time, but we're going to explain it, explain the most relevant parts we have suffered in our territories. We have been occupying this territory for millennia. When God placed us on the territory, to us it was clear to be with Mother Earth, respecting. This is very clear to us. Respect brings us wherever we go. We all have respect because everything is alive. From there, where we start understanding what the territory is, we are nothing. To us it's very clear. We have the mind, clear in mind, the intelligence, because our placenta, like the belly button, is in the territory, and therefore we feel pain. We therefore heard our elder who've lived for generations, and many wars have been fought in these territories, but the spirituality still has not got lost in these areas. So all this is a call to the whole world. For millennia we've been saving nature. Nobody's told us anything. We have done a big job day and night protecting, taking care of the air, the water, not only for us but for the whole world. And we exist for all the whole world on this planet. For good reason it is called the lung of the world. All these things we've been seeing at our ceremonies, thinking how we're going to do it, because the world is already destroyed. So what is left is to go out to these areas, to spaces, to shout out to the world that if we do not place the hand on our heart, I don't know what is going to occur with this planet. We are very clear that the spirituality has fed us in our territories, in fact on the whole planet, in order to be balanced. But today, due to all the violence in our territories, we cannot stand it anymore. Therefore, we're telling the world that we need these spirits and hearts in how they can help us, alliances to protect what we have kept for thousands of years. So the spirituality and spiritualities of the whole world are speaking up, but there is one we still haven't noticed yet. Many things have happened, and so we take care day and night, but the person or these hearts that don't understand are destroying also day and night. This is very concerning. As human beings as we are, we feel pain. Now, the spirituality, regards the spirituality, it really hurts a lot, because I was brought up in the jungle. I still am so, and I know the cradle of the wise. So now, in order to bring this to an end, this is something I still don't understand. This is what we have been looking for. It's not where we live, but it's the vision of the world. This world we've been doing for thousands of years, protecting, caressing what we have, and respecting. The holy plant, as Yahe, is something you cannot understand. I'm 38 years old, and since I'm 8 years old, I still don't understand these things. I don't understand wisdom. Due to the bad handling of the medicine, in the Amazon there is Yahe. But if everybody takes Yahe, we have to preserve it. If this finishes, we run out of it, what are we going to do on this planet? We need to understand, and thus we can cultivate again our planet. If we understand and respect each other, the planet will take care of humankind and everybody who has this heart and spirit to help alleviate this planet, so one day it enlightens us with renewed light, so we can understand each other as human beings and respect each other. Thank you very much, and excuse me for my bad way of expressing myself. Thank you very much.
Muy buenas tardes para todos y para todas.
Good evening, everyone. We come from the Colombian Amazon. Some of you already know what is our organization, which is the name of our organization. It's made up of 5 peoples: the Inga people, which is my people of origin, then the Siono, the Kofan, the Kamsa, and the Koriwahe. We First of all, let me apologize because of the title. You've seen, probably you've come here convinced that our title for the panel was Ayahuasca and Healing Trauma. That was written on the agenda. So we would like to apologize because we are here to express what we feel, not just about this holy medicine, but beyond spirituality. I would like to share with you what Yahe means for us meaning the Colombian Amazon peoples. First and foremost, the 5 peoples that are part of our union of indigenous Yahe medics in the Colombian Amazon, UMIYAC, we are threatened, we are endangered, we will become extinct. The Constitutional Court in Colombia actually reached this resolution. It was decision number 125 by this court. So we would like to share with you that in Colombia there are 102 indigenous peoples and 64 of them inhabit the Amazon, the lung of the world, the lung of all human beings. I express myself with deep emotion, deep feelings, recalling our grandparents in the Amazon, and we are very, very worried. The peoples are concerned. For 500 years ago or more, we suffered invasion, genocide in our territories. 500 years ago, we suffered deep violence as peoples. At the time, and until quite recently, the religions tell us that we were sorcerers if we practiced such sacred medicine, but the world is recognizing, is admitting today that we are no sorcerers. We are beings that just had that wisdom, and with the laws and the decrees that entered into force in Colombia, if I'm not mistaken, up to 1989, we were described as savages, and with the Constitution in 1991, we were depicted as human, slightly human. But we will see who the barbarians are now, who goes against Mother Earth, who wants to exterminate Mother Nature with its richness in the Amazon lands. So we're here in pain. We are suffering, and this pain has been imposed onto us by the governments all the time. We are, the peoples, constantly are in danger. The vested interest from different governments is there. They are especially interested in invading territories and using our wealth, but they are not interested in contributing anything to the indigenous peoples. We've lived the armed conflict in Colombia. It's been so sad for the peoples who fought, who defended, and who miss the fact that this wealth is for the well-being of everybody, ourselves, the indigenous peoples, and the future generations, because we need to be clear about one thing. We don't own the land, we borrow the land, and we need to take care of it and leave it in good condition. And if we want to talk about spirituality, let's think first. If we want to talk about ayahuasca, we need to think first. What is important right now? What matters is to defend the lands. Without the lands, we cannot grow the holy plant. This is something that I've been hearing quite often. The indigenous peoples called, well, the academia or the Western world as such, and they're changing the name of different sacred plants, sacred for indigenous Amazon peoples. So they've changed the names, and this is an added risk. It's a lack of respect, because I listen about these words: molecule, substance, hallucinogenic, knowing that for us it's not hallucinogenic, it's a spiritual plant, and through the plant we've survived, and we have resisted different situations in the Colombian territories. We've resisted many threats on to peasants and agricultors and leaders in the communities, those who defend Mother Earth. But thanks to the legacy that we've inherited from our ancestors, we have been able to resist. We have continued resisting, taking care of our territory, taking care of our individuals, the whole group, all of the community in general, so that we can persist and we can continue existing as a people, because the threats are becoming stronger and stronger. Implementing a peace process, okay, but the war continues. The conflicts are still there. So the main engine for our peoples has been medicine, our sacred holy plant, which is Yahe. With the strength, with the guidance from our ancestors, with this support, spiritual support, and that gift among our elders, they've cured different diseases suffered by human beings. We have suffered from these diseases in our territories, and we still resist, and we will continue standing up for it, and we will continue taking care of our sacred plant, because the plant per se cannot change its name, because that plant is our life. That plant is our teacher, is our master. They want to exterminate it, knowing that the Amazon is a living library. The Amazon is a living library, and they want to put an end to this richness among the indigenous peoples. We are the guardians of Mother Nature. We safeguard Mother Nature. We are protecting Mother Nature for the sake of humankind. And now we are working on this. We are on top of it. Before, in the territories, we would hear about spirituality only there, but now we hear about it in the whole world, and we have to reach our voices. We have to raise our voices and make our voices heard about spirituality, about culture, about the earth. We need to respect cultures, first of all. Respect cultures. This is not a substance that appeared 30 years ago. It's a 1,000-year-old tradition that our elders have passed on generation to generation. It's the food of indigenous people. So despite the peace processes, the Colombian government has not implemented any project so that we gather strength as a people. They have actually fed the war and the conflict, but with the sacred medicine we are building peace. We are knitting peace. We are rebuilding the peace fabric, because our territories were completely fractured. Territories that they looted, that they invaded, they took our lands, and they know that we live on what we get from Mother Nature. So we are here in order to knit together and spread the words of our elders in the Amazon peoples, and together, and only together, can we transform the world. It's not about changing what our ancestors left, but actually we want to go back to the cradle and know what we're doing. That's why we are here. That's the message that we want to launch today to all the future generations, because it's very important. It's so important. Indigenous cultures matter for the whole continent. All human beings are very important, because we need to think that Mother Earth is rebelling. Is rebelling. And it's happening in many places. We hear about earthquakes, tsunamis, and different ways in which Mother Earth rebels. Who has an answer for that? No one. Who has a tool to prevent this? No one. So we need to find a solution. all together, to knit together. That's the way, to knit together, all of us together, to change the world, because governments are sick, the human species is sick, and we need to cure ourselves. Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias a las ponentes.
Thank you very much to all the speakers. Many topics have been dealt with. I would like to say that there is an indigenous room that you'll find here in the palace, and they're discussing their different topics: territory, autonomy, the independence, medicine, spirituality, healing, and you will get deeper information if you're interested. And if you attend those sessions, and you can contribute your knowledge as well, because that's the idea, to exchange knowledge. I think, the panelists have been so good with time that we might have 1 or 2 minutes for questions, maybe from the floor. Yeah, is that possible? Good. Thank you. Please approach the microphone. Thank you. Brief questions, please, because there's another session and we need to leave the room. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your talk. I also would like to ask permission to my God and your gods to have this communication. My heart is beating so fast with emotion. I don't know if I can speak. I would like to ask for forgiveness because of our blind eyes and because we're being so ignorant. We've inherited this as well here, and I am hopeful that we can do this together in the same direction, but I think that the hearts are awakening and we will gather the necessary strength to do something, I hope. And I would like to ask a question. Take your time with your answers. What do you think about this relationship that we have in the West with such a holy plant for you? The fact that here maybe we are so out of context, from the roots and the tradition and the culture that it comes from, and we in the Western world are using it. I don't know, what's your take on this? Thank you. Thank you for the question. You awoke us because indeed we didn't speak much about the sacred medicine and what's happening around the world. We've always said that there are 4 delegations from 4 different countries, and we as Amazon peoples sometimes we look at it with sadness and with rage, because this plant is sacred, so sacred for Amazon peoples. We just listen to the words from our elders, and it's so delicate. The topic is so delicate. Just because you had a slight experience, it's not that you can take it and have an experience yourself with your friends. It's very tricky because it's a living spirit. I would like to ask also someone, how many have been cured of those who've had the experience out of context? What's the experience that they were after? What did they actually experience? And the person that's sharing the medicine, what's their knowledge? Do they know? Do they have the power? Because the only ones for us that are capable of and authorized to do so are the elders, authorized for us to provide, administer the medicine, because that person needs to know the spirit of the plant, know the holy plants, because it's not just yahe. There are different medicinal plants and sacred plants that can cure you. Not just the medicine can cure you, because the doctor is a doctor, the physician is a physician. When you go to the doctor, they perform an examination and then they give you a remedy. But they can present different holy plants, and who is authorized to do so and decide what plant you need to take to heal your disease? As Amazon peoples in Colombia, the elders have grown it and they've been doing it and passing on from generation to generation. We would like to invite you now to continue with these conversations outside the room. We've heard about conflict, post-conflict, healing, the relationship between war and spirituality, and why the indigenous communities, some of them don't agree with this concept of national park or nature park. And in that room, the indigenous room, there's more to come. So please feel free to go and attend the meeting. So come see us and come share your thoughts with us. Thank you.